What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Well, welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon podcast. I am your host, Sleazebomb. I hope you guys are having a happy Friday. It's the weekend. We are 13 days away from the NFL kickoff. Can you smell it, guys? Before we dive into it here, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated, whether you listen on Apple, YouTube, Spotify. I can't thank you guys enough. Also, I will have pinned in the comments our Discord, the Guys FF with my brother Big Draft Energy. We cover everything fantasy football for you guys, top to bottom, best ball, dynasty player values, top 200 rankings across the board, one-on-one chat, trade talk, everything. This episode is going to be my top 36 wide receiver rankings, and I'm also going to give you a little strategy on two wide receivers that I'm not drafting, and I'm going to give you a couple insights on players that I'm a lot higher on than others and why I am. And let's dive into my top 36 wide receiver rankings. So if you guys are new to the channel, here is my draft board. Baller tier at the top, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, all the way to 36, guys. Also, got to shout out our sponsor, Drafters. If you guys are not signed up on drafters.com, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. It is right below the camera. It'll match your deposit up to $100. You can also see the Guys Premium Discord down there as well. Again, that will be pinned in the comments and in the description of the video. That is there to help you guys dominate your leagues all year long. Now, let's get it rolling here. Number one, this should be plain and simple. This should be the first man off the board in every single draft. In my opinion, it is going to be Ja'Marr Chase, the Triple Crown winner from last year. And when you're looking at the Bengals this season, you got to realize that their defense is going to be atrocious, guys. We all know this, right? And they're going to have to score points at will. T. Higgins with a little injury yesterday, he should be fine as well. You're going to have Joe Burrow, Chase Brown. Their offensive line, though, is one of the scariest things. Their offensive line ranks 31st. Joe Burrow's got to stay healthy, and his floor will be 5,000 yards if he can stay out there for 17 games. This is an offense you should be attacking every single position at because they're going to have to score so many points again. Number two is going to be C.D. Lamb. And why do I like C.D. Lamb so much this year? Well, the Cowboys' running back game is absolutely going to be terrible this year. Their offensive line ranks 23rd. Their schedule is the hardest in the league versus the NFL ranking dead last. But C.D. Lamb has never had a George Pickens to take anything away to help him from. This is going to open up the floodgates, and Dak Prescott has to stay healthy this year. Same kind of situation as Ja'Marr Chase, and CeeDee Lamb is the only wide receiver in my eyes that can challenge Ja'Marr Chase for that number one spot. And I also forgot, so I left Rashee Rice and Jordan Addison on the left side of my camera there. We'll talk about that at the end. These are players that I'm not drafting, and I'll give you strategies on why. I forgot to say at the beginning of the video, so I cover it now. Number three is going to be Nico Collins and the Houston Texans. Yes, their offensive line ranks dead last at 32. Their schedule versus the wide receiver this season ranks them at, I'm pulling it up right now, 18 right now. And why do I love Nico Collins so much? Well, before injury last year, he was averaging 22 points a game. He was wide receiver 2. Now, their run game, Joe Mixon is down. We're looking at the same kind of situation with the Cowboys here. Their run game is going to be the same thing. It's going to be anemic. It's going to be very bad. They're going to have to pass heavy. They go out. They get Christian Kirk. They get Jaden Higgins. They get Jalen Noel because they know that this is going to have to be an air attack offense. CJ Stroud, I love for a big bounce back year. If you watch my quarterback video, and Nico Collins, I'm going to take over Justin Jefferson, who comes in at number 4. Because Justin Jefferson's hamstring scares me. The Vikings offensive line, they bolstered up a ton. It ranks 7th. The Vikings schedule versus the wide receiver as well is tough. It ranks 25th. And Jordan Addison's out for 3 games. He could pop at the beginning for sure. They're looking to bring in Adam Thielen possibly according to the updates today. TJ Hawkinson's going to be the security blanket for JJ McCarthy. But I think it's going to be a more run-heavy attack from the Vikings this year. They acquired an offensive line bolster. They got both the Colts guys. They bring in Jordan Mason, the big guy. They're going to try and run the rock and keep J.J. McCarthy under center and keep him healthy. I still love Jettis. I just don't love him over the top 3 guys. Number 5, I'm probably the highest ranker in the country of Drake London. I cannot get enough Drake London this season. The Atlanta Falcons are going to just targets galore for Drake London, right? Their offensive line ranks 8th, top 10 there. Got to like that. Keep Michael Penix up and rolling. And you have to look at the numbers last year with Drake London down the stretch with Penix. He was the number 1 targeted wide receiver. Darnell Mooney's already banged up. He has a massive injury history. Kyle Pitts, I'm on for one last dance. We'll get to that in my tight end video. But this is going to be the focal point of their pass game, and he's going to be second in targets behind Garrett Wilson, in my opinion. And I can't wait to get to Garrett Wilson here. Number 6 is going to be Malik Neighbors, and this one's tough. You know he's got that toe injury. If you've been in my streams, I do say it's a very, very scary pick, but it's still Malik Neighbors. And they've alluded to already that he's going to have surgery. So if the Giants fall out of contention here, what if they have surgery? And what if, they try to get him back healthy for next year with Jackson Dart next year, upgrades in the draft next year? A lot of scary things with Neighbors, but he's still going to be my wide receiver 6 because he's going to see targets galore. The Giants are going to be trailing in most games. And man, Jackson Dart has looked so good in the preseason. There's a reason that's my number 1 stack to own in Dynasty is Jackson Dart and Neighbors. They're both 22 years old, and the future looks so bright in New York with these two. It's crazy. Heading down to tier 1 here, number 7, it is going to be Puka Nacua. And whenever I double up, we got to double up on both players here. So I have Devontae Adams at 12. The Matthew Stafford scare is over, guys. He's back at practice all last 4 days, I believe, or 3 days, whatever it is. And that guy's a grinder, man. I know that he's 37. I know that he could get popped in the back, and it could literally end the Rams. Jimmy Garoppolo or Stetson Bennett, whoever the backup quarterback's going to be, would really hurt these guys. But this is the Rams Super Bowl window. I expect Matt Stafford to grind through it. I expect Puka Nacua to be, and both these guys to just feed off each other, man. There's no better route running technician that Puka Nacua could learn from than Devontae Adams, who's one of the best I've ever seen in my life at route running. And you have the offensive line back healthy. The Rams last year were playing guys off the practice field, man. They were so injured at wide receiver. It was like a nightmare. And now they're going to be back healthy. They rank 15th in the offensive line. Their schedule on the season versus the wide receiver that they're going up against ranks them at number 11. So it's very advantageous there. And these two are going to feast off each other. And I love them both this year at value in drafts. Number 8 is going to be BTJ, and I'm a little lower than BTJ on most. Their offensive line ranks 26, and some people have BTJ, my guy Big Draft Energy has him number 1. Some people have him top 5. You got to realize that Brian Thomas Jr. last year fed off all of the injuries. Evan Ingram went down. Christian Kirk went down. He became the absolute focal point. Now they have Travis Hunter. Now they have Brenton Strange for a breakout. Diami Brown. Parker Washington has been looking good. And Travis Hunter, man, in the Liam Combs system is going to feast in the Chris Godwin role. I've even said there's a possibility that he could out-target BTJ this year. I think people are really underestimating Travis Hunter, and we're going to pull him up as well. I forgot we got to double up. I have Travis Hunter out here at number 26 as well. And I think that he's one of the best values you can get. You saw the preseason game, and his injury right now may be dropping him down the board because people panic on injuries and it's a tiny injury. It's a chest. He'll be fine. He'll be out there week 1. This offense is going to be humming this year. They do have a very tough schedule, ranking 28th versus the wide receiver. But still, when you have Liam Coleman, Chris Godwin was the most targeted wide receiver and was wide receiver 2 in that role that Hunter's going to play. You have to love Travis Hunter this year as well. The defensive side, maybe it scares you a little bit, but not scaring me away. Number 9, and I'm lower than consensus here as well. I'm going to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. We're also going to pull up Jamison Williams. I have him here at number 27, right behind Travis Hunter. And when you look at the Lions, so they lost their Hall of Fame center in Ragnow. They lost Zeitler to the Titans. Their offensive line has taken a massive hit from being top 3 last year. The Lions' offensive line ranks 13th. The Lions' passing game ranks 17th this year versus the corners they face. And you have your mastermind technician, Ben Johnson, is out of town. He's the head coach of the Bears. It's going to be a different look, even if it comes from in-house with Horton or Morton, the new OC they have. I just think it's going to be more of a Jahmyr Gibbs look here. You have a lot of mouths to feed with Sam Laporta, and the rookie they drafted in Isaac Teslaz looked great in the preseason. He's going to take some targets away here as well, too. I'm just a little lower on the Lions offense this year because Ben Johnson, man, he's such a mastermind. I think it's really going to hurt them, and they have a very tough schedule, and they played so many games in a dome last year. They don't play that many dome games this year, and Jared Goff has been really, really bad outside of the dome. Number 10, my favorite wide receiver to draft in the 3rd round this year, Garrett Wilson. This guy is going to lead the NFL in targets. I'm calling 170 plus. He's got his college connection with Ohio State with Justin Fields back. And hear this, guys, right now. The Jets have the number 1 easiest schedule for wide receivers this season. Their offensive line ranks number 9. This is going to be great for Justin Fields, going to be great for playmaking abilities for Garrett Wilson when he scrambles out. And Garrett Wilson has never had anything in the past 3 years of his career. And he's had so many targets, and he's been a top 10 wide receiver almost every time. It's crazy. Now he has something he recognizes. He's had a new OC, new coach, new OC, new coach. He's going to feast this year. He's one of the best values, and people are sleeping on Garrett Wilson. Wide receiver number 11 is going to be A.J. Brown, and we're going to pull up. This one's going to draw a little noise here. Devonta Smith is my wide receiver 36. Now, my current ADP on Devonta's 23. I've tweeted this out. I've called out that I think that all of the 4 Eagles superstars, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Devonta Smith, are all going to underperform their ADP this year. And you can say, oh, man, you know, they ran the ball so much last year. They're going to do the same thing this year. Kellen Moore is also gone. They got new OC. The Super Bowl hangover, the injuries are already happening. A.J. Brown with a hamstring. Devonta Smith's been down. Dallas Goedert's been down. Saquon's really the only one healthy. They have a very, very tough schedule this year. I mean, I cannot tell you enough that I'm staying away from all these Eagles at values. I feel like their values are way, way, way too inflated. And I think it's going to be the Saquon show behind the number 1 ranked offensive line again. And the Eagles also have the 10th most favorable schedule for wide receivers, but they have a very, very tough schedule all around this year. Coming down to tier 2 here, number 13 is going to be Ladd McConkey. And people are starting to drop low on him because Keenan Allen, I could see that as well. Keenan Allen has the connection with Herbert. The Chargers offensive line ranks 10. I mean, they have Alt, who's a monster. They picked up Mekhi Becton, which is all great there as well. Quentin Johnson took that concussion hit. He should be back. Trey Harris, Keandre Lambert-Smith. He's looked great in the preseason as well. I still think Ladd McConkey is going to absolutely feast. I think people are too low on him. But you do have the situation of the Chargers run game, and Harbaugh loves to run the ball. You know, you got Najee Harris, who's got, you know, maybe one eye, and he's out there with Hampton. You know, that could be a situation that scares you away, but do not be afraid to draft Ladd McConkey. Number 14, Tyreek Hill, and we just covered this in the show, man. I'm going to put Jalen Waddle up here too. So you can be afraid to draft Tyreek Hill if you want. I mean, this guy's been a top 2 wide receiver for like 5 out of the past 6 years. He has one bad year, and everyone kind of falls off on him. I am not. The Dolphins are going to have to pass at will. Their offensive line ranks 25th. You've also got A-Chain down with a little injury right now with the calf. I think he'll be fine. And when you're looking at the Dolphins' schedule, they have the number 4 easiest schedule against corners this year. This is what you want to see. They're going to have to be high-flying like the Bengals. I love Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle at value. I'm drafting them all year long with confidence, and some people are not. If that's what you want to do, that's up to you. I'm willing to take the shot this year because I love the situation a ton. Number 15 is going to be Jackson Smith and Jigba. And yes, I've dropped him down a little bit. You know, last year he was a top 10 wide receiver. It's just going to be a different situation for him. I mean, you've seen Clint Kubiak and what he's done already in the preseason. Looks like a run-heavy attack. That's what he does. That's his scheme. They have K9. They have Charbonnet. Their offensive line, though, guys, ranks 30th, right? Sam Darnold may be out there running for his life. Their schedule versus the wide receiver is not the 6th easiest, versus the corners is 6th easiest. And they have Cooper Kupp. Do I really think Cooper Kupp, does he have a lot of juice left? Yeah, he might make it a couple games, but that guy's injury prone scares me a lot. You know, Torrey Horton, their wide receiver 3 that's emerging as a rookie out of Colorado State. Could he make some noise? Yeah. Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be the alpha here. I have him at wide receiver 15, and some people would, you know, reach up for him. I like him in the mid-3rd, right behind Garrett Wilson. Now, number 16 here, and the injury, you know, T. Higgins, he's also kind of weird off the field. The guy's kind of a head case a little bit here. I've even made the bet, $500 bet live on stream, that I think that T. Higgins is going to outproduce A.J. Brown. But the injury, I dropped him down here a little bit. You know, I think he'll be out there week 1. I think he'll be fine. Joe Burrow's offensive line, the Bengals rank 31st. They scare me. You saw the preseason game. The guy got sacked like 5 times by the Commander's 2nd string, which is very, very, very scary to me. We talked about it with Jamar Chase already. I should have done them both, but I have T. Higgins at number 16. Number 17 is going to be MHJ. Now, am I buying that the Cardinals and Kyler Murray's connection is going to be there? I need to see it first. I mean, he's a very short quarterback. I think all he saw last year was Trey McBride, and MHJ was one of the worst picks last year in fantasy football at value for return on investment you could have made. Am I buying into the hype this year at ADP? I wish he fell a little farther. If you want to take the shot and you like the breakout, it could happen. The Cardinals' offensive line ranks 16th. Their schedule versus the wide receiver comes in right at, I'm looking at my tweet here, it comes in at number 12, so it's a very advantageous schedule versus the corners. Again, I'm not a Kyler Murray big truther. His rushing upside puts him higher in my rankings, but this is all or nothing for Kyler Murray. This is his last shot, in my opinion. Number 18, the big Mike Evans, and we're going to have to bring up the guy that everyone should be targeting, and everyone's talking about, Emeka Egbuka. Now, the Bucks, you got Chris Godwin. They're not going to put him on the PUP, but they say he's not back till October, which that's a weird, thing going on there. Jalen Mamilla takes that crazy hit. Look like he should be out for the year. Looks like he's going to be out till they're by week 9, so 10 weeks. So Egbuka is going to see a ton of work here. I don't think he's going to look back. But when it comes to Mike Evans, this is that fall-off point. And I don't want to, say don't draft Mike Evans. The guy's turning 32. Normally in the NFL, this is where they fall off, is age 32. He's put up 1,000 yards every single time and 10 touchdowns. Could he do it again? Yeah. Just a gamble that I'm not willing to take. I see a little regression from the Baker Mayfield madness last year where he won leagues. Heading down to tier 3 here, my favorite wide receiver to target in drafts is Calvin Ridley. The Titans have bolstered that offensive line a little bit with the additions of Zeitler and David Moore Jr. from the Steelers and the Lions. They still rank 24th in the offensive line. They have some young rookies that they drafted in the first round that are, getting better as time goes on here, as their career, evolves here. But when you're looking at Ridley, your competition is Chig Okonkwo. They don't know who the wide receiver 2 is. Could it be Ayamanor? Could it be Tyler Lockett? Could it be Kamara DK? Could it be Xavier Restrepo from Miami with the connection with Cam Ward? We don't know. Calvin Ridley is going to absolutely feast. This guy has been the guy that shot up the draft boards more than anybody. And heading into our drafts right here, I'm telling you to target this man 100%. And the same kind of situation here for DK Metcalf at number 20. DK Metcalf has Roman Wilson, Pat Freiermuth, and Jonnu Smith as his competition, right? Aaron Rodgers, if you've ever watched Aaron Rodgers in his career, what does he do? He peppers his number 1. He's already gone out in interviews saying, I've never had a wide receiver 1 like DK Metcalf, which is crazy to say because Devontae Adams is on a different planet than DK Metcalf will ever be, in my opinion. But the Steelers' offensive line ranks 21st. Their schedule going up against the wide receiver puts them in the middle of the pack, I believe, as I'm looking for it quick here. Oh, they're number 8. So they have a very advantageous schedule. But you also have Arthur Smith here to worry about. And him as an offensive coordinator is a nightmare for all of us trying to decide fantasy football. If there's any Steeler I'm drafting this year with confidence, it is only DK Metcalf, and that is it, folks. Number 21 is going to be DJ Moore, which means we also got to pull up Rome Odunze, who I have at 35. And everyone's excited, and me included. I want to see the Bears go out there. Everyone got excited over a Bills preseason game where the guys that were playing were 6th, 7th practice squad stringers, and the Bears look great. I get all that. Throw all that out the window. It's preseason, right? So Ben Johnson comes in, who we talked about with the Lions. Great offensive mind. This is what you want. The situation is beautiful. The offensive line ranks 4th. That's absolutely great. That's what you want to see. Their schedule versus the corners ranks 13th. That's also good. But what the problem is for me is they go out with the 10th round pick. They get Colston Loveland. Should have been Tyler Warren, in my opinion. They go out and they get Luther Burden. I mean, there's so many mouths to feed in this offense. It's going to be like a roulette wheel nightmare to start. Like if you're not going to feel confident starting DJ Moore or Rome Odunze or Luther Burden or Colston Loveland, because the target share is going to be all over the place. And DeAndre Swift catches 50-plus passes a year at the backfield as well. So I still think DJ Moore is the wide receiver 1. I have said that I think Luther Burden will out-target Rome Odunze this year. I just, the touchdown upside is probably higher for Rome Odunze with his size. That's why I ranked him higher. But again, Bears, I'm pretty much the answer is Caleb Williams for me in the draft. It's going to be rough deciding each week what receiver is going to pop for me. Number 22 is going to be Cortland Sutton, and I know that he top 12 wide receiver last year, touchdown equity very high, receptions, not a lot of target volume. But now they trade up for Pat Bryant with 3/3 in the draft. They just traded Devon Vailey away, showing that they love Pat Bryant. You got Marvin Mims breaking out. You got Troy Franklin having a good preseason. And my dark horse tight end one, who we will get to in the next video, is Evan Ingram. He is going to feast in the Joker role for Sean Payton, like Jimmy Graham style in the old days. He's my favorite value, my number one to own, best ball, everything. I cannot get enough Evan Ingram. And I think Evan Ingram is going to out-target Cortland Sutton this year. That's why I'm lower on Cortland Sutton. And the Broncos have the number 2 rated offensive line. They have the number 1 rated defense. They're going to get the ball back a ton. But what do they have? They have the number 29th hardest schedule cornerback-wise for Cortland Sutton. That's why I like Evan Ingram so much this year. Coming in behind him is going to be Xavier Worthy. And again, Rashee Rice to my left. I would put Rashee Rice in the top 10 if he was out there playing the whole season. The man's a stud. He was averaging 22 points a game last year. And this is where we're going to cover why I'm staying away from Rashee Rice and what you should do in your draft. So Xavier Worthy, I have at 23. He never even had a 100-yard game season last year. He's a game breaker. Didn't really have the Tyreek Hill pop. Could he in year 2? He started to find, down the stretch, he found a little success because everyone was hurt. Now Hollywood Brown is back. Travis Kelce was a shell of himself last year. I'm still staying away from Travis Kelce regardless, right? Either way. The Chiefs' offensive line ranks 20th. Not great. The schedule they play against is ranking at 16th, right in the middle of the pack versus the cornerbacks. And what you do in your drafts to succeed here is you let someone draft Rashee Rice at the crazy ADP he's going at. You let them lose their couple games, hit the panic button, then you go and trade for Rashee Rice. Same situation with Jordan Addison, right? If you want your wide receiver 2, you need that flex help in your draft. These are what I do. I don't draft problems. I make them have the problem, then I take advantage of that problem. And that is what you should be doing in your drafts instead of targeting them and waiting and see if your team holds and lose 6 to 7 round value on Rashee Rice or Jordan Addison. I think it's crazy. So that's just that's how I'm playing it this year. You could do whatever you want. You're a Chiefs fan. Take Rashee Rice early if you want. I'm staying away. Number 24 is going to be Chris Olave, the most underrated wide receiver in fantasy football drafts this year. Why do I love this? Well, Kellen Moore, the air attack is going to be insane with the Saints. And why is it going to be insane? Because they're not going to be able to run the ball that well. They're playing for nothing. Their offensive line ranks 22. And why do you got to like it? The Saints said this, they're just going to be playing 90% from behind. And in garbage time, 24-year-olds don't come out. Maybe if they're down by 30, he'll come out or something like that, right? The concussion scare is there. I get that. That makes sense to me. If you don't want to draft him because of concussion, that's fine. But I'm telling you, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, who's not in my top 36, but he made it close, they are going to feast in so much garbage time this year. It's going to win leagues if they stay healthy. I love Chris Olave at value. I think he's one of the best league-winning values at wide receiver this year. Number 25, Ted McMillan, the 6'5" stud out of Arizona. I'm here for all of the Bryce Young breakout. I love all the Panthers this year. Ted McMillan looks like Adam Thielen may be on his way out too, which would give him even more of the number 1 spot. Jalen Coker having a breakout preseason as well, and offseason, and everyone was hyped last year on him. Could he be moving up the depth chart with a Thielen move? Maybe. The Panthers' offensive line comes in at number 11, and their battle versus the cornerbacks this year in the schedule, they're number 2. Advantageous. That's great. That is what you want to see with Ted McMillan. You get the second year in Dave Canales' system as well as the quarterback whisperer. They benched Bryce Young for Andy Dalton last year, and Bryce Young looked great. I love Bryce for the breakout. It's hard for me to put him above anybody. People could tell me 25 is low. I could see him finish top 20, top 15 for sure. It's just the other names I like the situation a little better. Number 20, we talked about Travis Hunter. And, okay, I forgot about this, so I'm going to throw this in here. This is Travis Hunter. This is why, right here. This is why you got to love Travis Hunter. Look at that. That is the college route tree from Matt Harmon. Shout out to him. Got to meet him at the Expo. Great guy. The man's just a success rate god. That's why I love Travis Hunter on top of it. I forgot to throw that in. Coming in at number 29, Slick Rick Pearsall. Bang, bang, Niner gang. I was so high on Juan Jennings coming in. I thought Juan Jennings would be the wide receiver 1. This calf injury has really, you got no update on this. It's like they're pulling a CMC from last year. We haven't heard anything about this calf update. Keeps getting it reevaluated. Wants a new contract. Who knows if, he's even trying to get a contract or not, or what, it's a nightmare with Juan Jennings right now. I would have had him up here as my wide receiver 1 if he was out there healthy. Ricky Pearsall has looked great, guys. The 49ers Offensive line comes in at 12. Their schedule versus the cornerback comes in at 12 as well. I mean, Ricky Pearsall is going to feast this year, and I don't think he's going to look back. I think he's going to be a very, very and his ADP that I have him at right now, he's drafted way lower than this. He's that guy that I would reach for big time. I think he's a game breaker, and look what he did down the season last year, man. He won best ball championships in the last couple weeks of the season. He's got the connection. Kittle's going to demand the doubles. He's going to feast this year. Number 30, Zay Flowers. And I'm a little lower on Zay Flowers this year just because I believe the Ravens are going to pound teams out. Their defense has gotten so good. Mark Andrews is now back healthy. Mark Andrews was coming up that car accident and the injury last year. Isaiah Likely down a little bit. Could he be back there as well? Isaiah Likely looks like an X factor when he's out there. And they bring in DeAndre Hopkins, and they have Rashad Bateman. I know Zay Flowers type, gadget type, screen type player. I'm just staying away from him this year at ADP and redraft. The Ravens offensive line ranks 17th. The Ravens pass game versus the cornerbacks they're going up against this year ranks 19th, so a little lower the middle of the pack. And I just think it's going to be a King Henry show this year for the Ravens with how much, time of possession they're going to have. Number 31, the rookie specimen, Matthew Golden from the Green Bay Packers. And this one's a little different for me. So I know that Jordan Love was hampered all last year. I know that in week 1 in Brazil, he almost blew his knee out and was out for the season. He played hurt all year. They leaned on Josh Jacobs. Their wide receiver room dropped the most balls in the NFL. Romeo Doubs is still there, right? Now, when I look at Matthew Golden, his college, I mean, he was outproduced by Isaiah Bond. In college, he was outproduced at Houston before that. He's never even had a 100-yard game. So, I mean, there's a lot of flags, and then there's a lot of preseason hype of clips of him just destroying. So he's like one of the hardest guys to rank for me. I'm definitely willing to take the shot and redraft round 5, round 6. If he falls even further, smash it. But it is that like hype. Do we know if the Packers are going to spread it around to the 5 wide receivers they have, or is he going to be the true alpha? Tough call for me on this one, but I have him at 31. Number 32, Jerry Jeudy. Could it have gotten better? I mean, can't believe they're starting Joe Flacco, but they are. The Browns are going to be trailing in almost every single game. Their offensive line ranks 27th. Joe Flacco may not even make it through a couple games. I mean, I don't know why they're not starting Shedeur. It blows my mind. And when you're looking at the Browns versus the cornerbacks this year, their schedule comes in dead last. They're going to be passing the whole time, which is why if you watch my running back video, I'm staying away from Quinshon Judkins this year. It's very, very bad. Their schedule is very rough. The garbage time is going to be there. Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku, who we'll get to in my tight end video, are going to feast on points in garbage time. These are the only Browns I want to own, period. And again, I'll get to Njoku in the tight end video. Number 34, the scariest pick of them all, right? Terry McLaurin. Now, you guys are going to be like, why is Terry McLaurin at 33? Terry McLaurin isn't a holdout. He is not game ready. This is what happens to wide receivers. They use their injury risk goes up massively when you're not out there at camp, when you're not there at preseason. You could work out at home or at the gym or at your facilities for the Commanders. I get all of that. Still, it's not game shape. It's not the same thing. Look at every other wide receiver that has holdouts. The injury risk is like 80% higher. Terry McLaurin scares the shit out of me this year. His ADP is way, way, way too inflated. He was touchdown dependent last year, did not have a ton of volume, even close to the top tier wide receivers. And now Deebo Samuel's in town. I know you have JD5. Absolutely love JD5, right? This guy's electric and game breaker and number 1 asset in Dynasty, probably at quarterback, right? I'm just staying away from Terry McLaurin. He just is so scary at ADP. And I'm telling you guys, do not draft him. It's going to be a really, really rough year for Terry McLaurin this year. Bang. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. As always, on your way out, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. Make sure you check out the Guys FF Discord if you haven't joined and you want to dominate your fantasy football leagues for the rest of time. And if you guys have any questions as well, drop them in the comments. I try to answer every single one of them. My next video is going to be my tight end rankings video. Then I'm going to get to my kicker and defenses as well. And then on with the videos as we go, guys. That is it for me today. I'll be live here in an hour as well. Sleazebomb out. Hope to see you guys in there. And I hope you like the video, man.